Lance, it's been 2 years now since you confessed to doping. What's the time been like since then for you?
The fallout has been heavy. I mean, maybe heavier than even I thought. And the way that that I sort of told my story or told the world through Oprah is as good a job as I think she did, or is the best job she could do for herself. You know, it was pretty brutal afterwards. So it's been tough. It's been trying. It's required some patience, but it seems like there's some light at the end of the tunnel. My biggest fear was I'd have that day where one of my older kids, my two youngest ones are too young to even know, or their classmates to know. But you'd have that day where a 13-year-old or a 15-year-old would come home and just be in pieces. Dad, I heard this in the hallway, or I read this on social media, or is this true, or yeah, I mean, that would rock me.
When it comes to the doping, would you do it again?
You know, if I was racing in 2015, no, I wouldn't do it again, because I don't think you have to do it again. If you take me back to 1995, when it was completely and totally pervasive, I'd probably do it again. People don't like to hear that.
But that's the honest answer.
Yeah, that's the honest answer. But it's an answer that needs some explanation. And it's, I mean, I look at everything, you know, when I made that decision, when my teammates made that decision, when the whole peloton made that decision, like, we get it. It was a bad decision in an imperfect time, but it happened. When Lance Armstrong did that, I know what happened because of that. I know that, I know what happened to the sport of cycling from 1999 to 2005. I saw its growth, I saw its expansion. I know what happened with the industry, the cycling industry. I know what happened to Trek bicycles, 100 million in sales to $1 billion in sales. Yeah. I know what happened to my foundation, from raising no money to raising $500 million, serving 3 million people. Do all those people want to, do we want to go make a different decision? Do we want to take it away? I don't think anybody says yes. But what we want, and what I want, I mean, I don't really care what anybody else wants. I'll tell you what I would want to do, is I would want to change the man that did those things. Maybe not the decision, but the way he acted. The way he treated other people, the way he just couldn't stop fighting. It's great to fight in training, great to fight in the race. You don't need to get in a press conference or an interview or a personal interaction and fight. I mean, I'd be fighting with you right now. I would be taking you on. You know, that's the man that really needed to change and can never come back.
If you were a man on the street or a cycling fan, would you forgive Lance Armstrong now? Would you say it's time to move on?
Well, that's really not fair. I mean, listen, I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, selfishly, I would say, yeah, we're getting close to that time. But that's me. I mean, my word doesn't matter anymore. I mean, what matters is ultimately what collectively those people on the street, whether that's the cycling community, the cancer community, it matters what they think. I mean, listen, of course I want to be out of timeout. I mean, what kid doesn't? What's really frustrating is that if my mom got MS tomorrow, and thank God she didn't, and doesn't have it, but whatever, and that was something that I wanted to help, and I wanted to go work for, and I wanted to run the Boston Marathon and raise $100,000 for the MS Society. I couldn't do it, and I wanted to not just run. I'm going to walk it, run a little bit, walk the aid stations, and finish in like 4 hours and 15 minutes, but raise $100,000. I can't do it.
That's wrong.
I don't know how anybody thinks that's right.
But isn't that the nature of a punishment? That it has to be a deterrent to others.
Okay.
It has to set an example. Some would argue, and that may be
at the expense of others. Nothing benefits me by going and running a slow marathon. Where are all the other players in the story? I get it. I need to be punished. But we got to look at the whole, don't we have to look at the whole play?
You were the ringleader. It wasn't just the doping, it was the bullying, it was the intimidation, it was the lying under, in depositions, betraying of your friends.
Right. And some of that's true, some of that's not true. And there was certainly a dishonesty there that I think is totally regrettable.